opening and turning on and off all of the lights. I'm gonna put on my backlight, doesn't make a difference. Anyways, welcome you guys to the live. I have a new mic, spent way too long trying to set it up, and as a result, made no difference at all. So, welcome to Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz here, you guys. I wanted to do a live reaction to the new Green Lantern trailer that dropped for the Lanterns. Hi. Oh, thank you for that. TLC, and welcome to the Cosmic Club. So this is not my official Cosmic Comic Book Club read. One moment, let me put on my gloves and get fully ready with you guys. It seems like the hum has subsided, so that's good. I was struggling with some of the oh, there it is. I hear it. Yeah, so I hear it when I'm gonna leave it there for now. Okay, so I'm going to put on my lantern ring and my gloves now that I can touch everything. And I'll show you what the read is. We are going to be reading this way. Okay, yeah. So we're going to be reading Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps, Fall of the Gods. I got this from Silver Snail. I haven't been able to get out there again and get some of the updated comic books that I wanted, but this is not officially the Cosmic Comic Book Club. This is kind of like a read that I'm doing just because I felt from the universe that we needed something a bit more cosmic in nature when it came to the lanterns, right? So welcome, you guys. I'm Jessica Cruz, in case you're not familiar. Thanks, Scotty. There is an action figure of me out and about, you guys, and that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like they borrowed from me a little bit. This is right. Am I putting these gloves on right? Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm almost there. And of course, last but definitely not least, you need the ring. All right, I'm going to take this. Oh, thank you so much, Scotty. Thank you for the luck on my reading. So just to keep you guys up to date, I have reconfigured my schedule, my Cosmic Comic Book Club schedule. You can see the calendar here. So every Tuesday at midnight, I will be doing an official, I guess, book club kind of meeting. So if you guys have ever joined a book club, or if you've ever like studied Shakespeare in English class, it's kind of like doing that, but we're going to do that with comic books. So it's looking at things thematically, what your takeaways are, symbolic meaning of things, all that kind of good stuff. So tomorrow, Jean Grey, the Phoenix, is going to be live, and we're going to finish Cosmic Ascent, which is a comic book I picked up when I was in Winnipeg, and it deals with the more cosmic essences of things. And so I wanted to put on Jessica Cruz tonight just because the Lanterns trailer has dropped, right? Which features an older, grizzled Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, both of which are in this read we're going to read tonight. Salvatore, thank you for liking the live. Let me make sure I'm saying hi to everybody. Let me take off this glove first. I hope you're all well. Stephen Ernst, hello. Yes, your favorite comic book jocks. Do you guys have a favorite lantern? I went down a Kyle Rayner rabbit hole before I started, you guys. So let me go here. Thank you again. And welcome, Gwen Stacy, my babes. How are you? Welcome to the read. Hi, Brandon. Okay, Josie, it took a little while for me to get ready tonight, you guys. So when you have like other responsibilities besides superhero stuff, you know, it's tough. So I said hi to everybody. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure you join tomorrow. We're going to be flipping back to Marvel, but we're going to still be talking about some cosmic essences. So one sec. Put this on. This back on at least. It's funny how you need your hands for things sometimes. Whew. Okay. All right. And I typically do most of my cosplay magic is via makeup. So I was dealing with a little bit of an allergic reaction to a product the other day. So I had to take some time off the live. Okay, so the Lanterns trailer dropped. I can't remember the actors' names off the top of my head. I actually do like the actor who plays Hal Jordan, the older version. However, I do have some critiques of the trailer and what they are choosing to do with it. It seems like they're really, really localizing the story in the sense of it takes place in a small town. The lantern outfit, like what I'm wearing right now, is sitting in the closet, right? Like unused. And Hal's doing some work actually. He's actually doing some technical things in the back. So if you guys are not familiar with Jessica Cruz, I am a Green Lantern. I'm one of the newest lanterns. I do have a partner named Simon. Thanks, Simon. Hello. And oh my gosh, I was trying to deal with the mic before. Yes, you can ask a question. Yes. Tonight's not the official read, but I am going to read you guys something tonight. And I didn't flip this while I had the chance. Let's do that. So while I do that, please do ask a question. I'm sorry about the slight hum you're hearing on my XLR mic right now. I switched mics. I had an older school mic that I liked, and okay, the feedback's not so bad right now, but I was fighting with it. Hal's with Josie. Although, Hal's kind of like a renegade. What that mean, bro? I love your cosplay. I don't know what your question is. Okay. Do you know who I am, Jessica? All right. I'm going to do some quick lore drop when it comes to the lanterns, and then we're going to go right into the read. Actually, let me finish my critique on the lanterns trailer. Did you guys like it? Are you guys excited for it? Is it in the same universe that the new Supergirl movie is in? I believe so. I think that people scroll up. Let me see. I don't see a question. You know what? Sometimes TikTok censors things. So, and sometimes I just read the new Green Lantern comic wrap. Did you like it? Who is your favorite Green Lanterns, you guys? Drop in the chat. Please do. My favorite's Hal Jordan. But I do like the other lanterns. I like the lore behind the lanterns. I also love the other lanterns that exist as well. I guess, are the staff, do you call the Star Sapphires lanterns? They're just kind of like the Violet. I love Kyle Rayner, right? I love Kyle Rayner too. He does something pretty cool in this story. So we're going to read through that as well. I do like Kyle as well. He's kind of like, I call him like Mr. Loverboy. He dates Wonder Girl, right? Donna Troy, and he also dates Jade, and I think he also dates Carol for a bit. Ferris for a bit, who is a Star Sapphire. The Star Sapphire ring, though, is known to be parasitic. Each of the rings actually has an entity that's associated with it. Let's see here. I love that you love Kyle Rayner because I went down a big rabbit hole with him to get some background information before we start the read. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some background information on myself. Green Lantern Jessica Cruz, just before we begin. I'm in a little bit of not a different setup, just a little different angle, I suppose. You can kind of see I wanted to have like my green behind me just for the Green Lanterns, just from a symbolic standpoint, because the biggest thing with the lanterns is the symbols behind them, right? Because ultimately the greatest power of the Green Lanterns is your imagination and your will to bring that imagination into life. I love Star Sapphire. I started loving her as a character. Did you guys know that, quick guess as to who the first male Star Sapphire is? It's Jon Stewart. Kind of like, give me that live action. I do love the Star Sapphires. And like there's some fun stuff there when you relate like crystalline power, because Star Sapphire as an actual stone here on Earth is quite a beautiful stone as well. All right. And okay. Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern. I've talked to you guys before about how I love her a lot just because I relate to her from a perspective of dealing with anxiety, PTSD, mental stuff, right? Because think about it, becoming a superhero doing this kind of work is not exactly cut out for everyone. You need to be quite resilient just because you end up going through quite a bit of loss and trials and tribulations. And so to come out the other side and, not be the villain in it, because Hal Jordan, the biggest reason why he is my favorite Green Lantern is because of his character arc. He goes from being, the greatest Green Lantern, the legendary Hal Jordan, to going through grief, losing Coastal City, his hometown. He ends up becoming Parallax, the embodiment of fear. And so you become the villain and then destroy the entire Lantern Corps, and Kyle Rayner basically is the only one left. Like Hal Jordan basically says, like, Kyle Rayner was like a Green Lantern when like no one else, there was like no Green Lanterns, just that. Hey, Casey Jones and Scott Summers, Guy Gardner has entered the chat. Hello, my friends. We are due for another Lantern reunion, you guys. So if you guys cosplay as any of the Lanterns, not just the green ones, because they are all related in terms of the emotional, I keep on calling it the electromagnetic spectrum, but it's really the emotional electrical spectrum, but it's the power of the emotions embodied in a ring and then harnessing that energy to create, right? So everything Spider-Man deal with. Emerald Dawn. Yeah, you guys know the stories. So Jessica Cruz, I relate to personally just because she's final girl material. That's the way I kind of put it. So if you guys aren't familiar with the final girl archetype, it's like in horror tropes, like Sydney and Scream, the girl who, like, in old tropes, it's like she's a virgin, right? The good girl, like the girl who's like being all slutty out in like the cabin, she's the one who gets killed first. But I just mean tropes. We're talking about horror tropes. So Jessica Cruz is very much final girl vibe to me, because how she ends up becoming a Green Lantern is, I mean, each of the lanterns has their own pathway. I've talked with Guy about how he used to be like a teacher, I think like a gym teacher or something. And so the ring chooses you as much as like you become worthy of the ring. In Jessica's case, she is like out with her friends on a camping trip, which I have done with my friends out in the prairies many, many times. Like your girls' camping trip, August long weekend, you're all out with your friends. So she's out with her friends camping, and these mob bosses, they're basically disposing of a body. Like Goodfellas or like Wise Guys are like, oh, all right, we're cement shoes, that kind of thing. So her and her friends, me and my friends, stumble upon this, and the mob bosses see us, and they basically come and kill my friends. And she survives. I don't know, I haven't read that run, but she ends up with survivor's guilt and PTSD from the fact that she basically witnesses her best friends being killed in front of her. So she goes through, like, she ends up with huge anxiety, does not want to leave the house, which like I can relate to. I've lost a few friends of mine, like to different things. And, when you lose a friendship, it's grief, right? And because you're in this frequency, you end up being perfect. I don't know, like perfect fuel or perfect. It's like it sends out a beacon, right? So the ring of Volthoom, which is a fear ring, is attracted to my grief and pain and anxiety, right? And it latches on to Jessica, and she becomes, I don't know, she essentially becomes a yellow lantern, because the yellow lanterns are technically fear, but she becomes taken advantage of by the fear ring, right? And so it's through her finally being able to transmute fear, put aside, she puts her life on the line to essentially save Flash. I think that's what ends up happening. But it's in that sacrifice, in this, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm able to transmute that fear and come around the other side. She's able to then transmute that fear ring, that ring of Volthoom, into a Green Lantern ring. And she becomes the first female member of, this sector to guard Earth. There are quite a few lanterns. So there is a joke that, like, how come Earth has so many lanterns? And my opinion is just that Earth is very important in the grand galactic scale of things. Human beings are, I guess, how many colors? Yes, I am Jessica Cruz. Yes. So I should have had I have a little graphic of all the colors, but let's go through all the colors, shall we? There's green, and green represents will. Will is, actually, let's go through all the lanterns and I'll talk about the lore as to why they even exist in the first place. Like, even think about, okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked. So, green lanterns, green represents will, okay? Yellow lanterns, sometimes called the Sinestro Corps for whatever reason, is fear, right? Next, you can think of the blue lanterns. I really like the blue lanterns. They represent hope. I read you guys a story once where Kyle and Hal go on this quest for hope. They go to a different, they're trying to find the hope lantern. So, and the different lantern colors, they all react with each other differently. I'll get into that in just a second. So we've got, what is it, green, which is will, yellow, which is fear, blue, which is hope, so cerulean blue. So then we have indigo. Indigo lanterns are compassion. We have red lantern rings, which is rage or anger. You have orange, which is greed, but I think they call it, oh my gosh, there's another word that they call it. It's not just greed. And their oath is like, what is mine, and mine, and mine. What color will my OC Josie be? You know, there's also a concept of a blend of the colors, like red and blue, right? So 7 deadly sins. Not exactly. It's more like the emotion. I would relate them more to the chakras, right? The chakras in your the energy systems of your body, and the color theory when it comes to the rainbow as well. How all the colors together make up white, right? So, am I missing any of the colors? Orange, red, green. Oh, the star sapphires. The violet lanterns are love. And each of the lanterns, there's like a higher dimensional entity, which is like the being that lives in the battery. So for example, the ring that we have, right? The rings that we have, they have to be charged. They're not like, they don't just work infinitely, right? So the lantern who essentially gives Hal Jordan his ring, he dies because he didn't charge his ring up enough. So he ends up in a situation where, he loses it. Oh, Byron, thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome to the read. You can hear Hal typing in the background if you really, really listen. Also, let me see if I can use my glove to, no, I can't. So how do they charge? Great question. So there's actually a really fun animation clip. I'm going to try to source this. But as you guys know, in DC, there's like multiverses, right? Like this version, that version, the animated version, the movie version, all these versions of like in the multiverse of DC, right? Now, in one of the universes, John Stewart forgets that he's a Green Lantern and like loses his ring or something, right? And he gets it back and it's dead. Like the power is dead. It's like having a phone and like zero battery. So you're like, it's just like a dead ring. Like what the heck is, it's supposed to like make whatever comes into my imagination. Why isn't it working? And Green Arrow, because Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, and Hal Jordan are very good friends. They have a lot of adventures together. So Green Arrow tells John Stewart, you have to put it in this lantern. So it's like a battery, right? You have to put the ring in the lantern and you have to say the oath. And John Stewart's like, the oath? What's the oath? And I'm an nerd. I'm sorry if I ignored you. It's hard for me to move up with my talk about the brown. No, I won't. There are no brown lanterns, unfortunately. It's a neutral color. I mean, if you were to look at it, I could talk about that in a different form. So where was I? Oh, yes. So Oliver, as Green Arrow, tells John Stewart, who's not aware of all this, because remember, if you have amnesia, you're like a lantern from a different universe. He's like, you're a Green Lantern. You should know the oath. So how to charge? You have to say the oath and pump it into the central battery. Okay? So the oath is, in brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light, right? And then it charges, right? Try not to be loud while Josie's sleeping. Can be accessible without charger. You know what, Casey? Great questions. You are such a nerd like I am. I don't know. It's hit and miss. So just like how with Supergirl, right? For example, there's this story that I've read you guys before. Like just pull it up from the back, where like Supergirl goes to Mogo because she's trying to find some redacted files to figure out who killed Krypton, who really killed Krypton, the cosmic conspiracy. And there's like redacted files, and Hal's like, I don't know why there's redacted files. So she goes directly to the Green Lantern's home planet to find any of these files, right? Because if we think about the Green Lanterns, they're essentially like cops, yes, detectives, but for a whole galactic sector. So that is my biggest critique of the Lanterns. Like, I feel like if they wanted to do something a bit more like small town, true detective style, maybe you could have done Martian Manhunter, or maybe like Spider-Man Noir, or like something a bit more dark and gritty for that. I don't feel like, well, I mean, who knows? Like, everyone has their own perspective, and you're more than welcome to do what you wish. You die, recharge often. Yes, The Question. I love The Question, you guys. The Question and Huntress, low key, one of my favorite couples, superhero couples. Yeah, right? My labor is strong, my labor is cheap. But each of the Lanterns also has an oath. I have the Star Sapphires written down somewhere where it's like, love conquers all. And I do love when the Lanterns interdate each other. And it's funny what you were saying once. It's like, well, what lantern color would Josie be? Like, I would let her decide, right? Like, maybe she feels called to be more a blue lantern or a violet lantern. So it's all about emotion too. And I think it's important to note that it shouldn't, the Star Sapphires are oftentimes considered villains, right? Because it's known that like the violet lantern ring is a bit parasitic. So what I mean by that is that you're interfacing with like divine consciousness, right? And just like with the Phoenix, which she'll be reading you tomorrow, where do I end and where does that cosmic entity begin, right? And Kyle Rayner, for example, he ends up being an avatar for Ion, who is like the embodiment of the will force. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into the read. Who is Marvel in this Green Lantern term, such as in yin and yang? Oh, okay. You mean like who's the equivalent kind of thing? That's a great question. There's not always a one-to-one equivalent, but however, there are the Guardians in Green Lanterns, right? And in Marvel, you have the Guardians of the Galaxy. So the concept of having, let's say, celestial, interdimensional beings that are considered stewards or caretakers or guardians of the realm. Nova Corps. That might be Romulus. That's a great. Nova is actually in the comic book I'll be reading tomorrow, because when Jean Grey is like, I'm going to be Phoenix and I'm going to go off on my adventures and do space things. That's kind of what the Lanterns are all about. Like, that's why Hal Jordan kind of leaves Earth and Jessica stays on Earth, because he's like loves the wild open spaces, the wild west of space, you know, like space cowboy kind of situation, right? Where Jessica's more like, okay, I'm going to deal with like the stuff at home. It's also why, like, when it comes to the Justice League, the Green Lanterns are like, Hal's like, why am I going to join the Justice League when I'm already part of like a team kind of thing? So if we had to choose, I think Nova Corps, yeah, anything that has to deal with like more of like cosmic entity stuff. So the stuff in Marvel that has to do with like Thanos and Phoenix and the time space stuff outside of that, like the Macabre Crystal, all that kind of stuff. But I'm really more like the symbolism behind everything, right? So when we look, if we were to map the Lantern Corps, like their colors to the chakra system, it's not a match, but it's funny how you can get a different idea of what each color is through each of those models of understanding. Like, for example, in the chakra system or your energy centers, right? Green is actually your heart chakra, and your heart chakra is the energy center in your body by which all others may open. It's why when you have like a really good hug from someone and you're feeling like really sad and kind of like annoyed, and that person's really open and has a really big, nice open heart chakra and just gives you like a real hug, you know, and just hold it there. You're like, oh, that can actually help heal quite a bit more than what we give it credit for, I think. So, you know, you have heart chakra, you have your solar plexus, which in the chakra system is yellow, which you can kind of look at it from a fear perspective, because if yellow is fear, it would mean that like by transmuting fear, by being able to wield fear, you can use it to your own benefit, right? Whether that benefit is for the benefit of all, that's another story, right? John McNary, thank you for the heartbeat. I welcome to the Cosmic Club. I'm Jessica Cruz. We're going to just start with the read now. And the Illuminati chapter. I'm not familiar though. And you know what? I think that with symbolism, things get really, really confused with stuff like that. So context is key, right? Because in some cases, red is like evil and green is evil, right? Like green is kryptonite. Green kryptonite, right? So they say same terms. Yeah. All right. Yes. Green Lantern Corps activation, guys. So I'm going to read you guys kind of like oh my gosh, this hum is killing me right now. I'm going to, in the replay, I'll get rid of it. I promise. All right, so I'm going to get this ready and we'll go right into it. Okay, so this is, I've read you guys actually, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old gods and the new gods and like Orion and High Father and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, we'll just go with it. I'm just going to go like into it, like just like it's a dream sequence and, oh, now you're here. Okay, so hopefully the echo is not too bad. I'm going to bring this down a bit. I wish it was kind of away for a bit, but I realized with XLR's like interference from other things, and I tried turning off all the lights and on all the lights, so it's okay. Oh yeah, and thanks John McNary for you're awesome too. Okay, let's go. Green Lantern Corps. Here, Dana. Touched upon us. Yes. Yeah, indeed. It's got more of like the bigger, if you read Crisis and stuff, there's some stuff in there that has to do with it. So let's get into it. Okay. Oh my gosh, this song is gonna kill me, but I'm gonna have to just make sure that the replay sounds better. Okay, so we're gonna rocket through transliminal space at speeds greater than the gods. You inform me that my son is dead, Hal Jordan, murdered by a mental or a metal golem, like the one my father Yuga Khan created to murder me. Yet all you say is under control. I demand that you explain further. Those Omega beings chasing us, the only way they'll stop is if their target's heart stops. So that is what we did to Orion. So Orion is High Father's son. You will see how they managed to work around the whole heart transplant situation very soon. So we took the whole thing out of his chest, actually. But don't worry, High Father. The docs are on it. My job is to keep your ticker going while Jon Stewart comes up with a plan. And thank you for the Go Popular. If you keep talking about the Brown Lanterns, I'm going to have to kick you out. Sorry. Because it's just distracting. And there is none. And I have to have it come from a good place. Because I don't want I don't need negativity in the chat. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Let me just fix this. Yeah. So. Okay. Warning, he has a tendency to mull things over. Yeah, I'm going to kick you out. Sorry. You're ruining it for other people. You're now muted. Sorry. Okay. Hi, Red Heron. Hi, how are you? Welcome. If you were a lantern Which lantern would you be, Red Heron? I feel like you would be Violet. They'd let you in. You know, they let Jon Stewart in. Jon Stewart actually ends up dating Fatality, who is a Star Sapphire, and they have some really fun conversations because she's like, life is so much easier if you just believe love conquers all, and he's like, it's not that easy, Fatality. She's like, I believe that it is. And you know, it is true. Like, it's like sometimes when you're in love, like, things seem so simple, but love can make you blind, love can make you crazy. There's a bunch of other stuff that goes in there as well. That's why it's good to have discipline, but not too much discipline, because you need some room to have some freestyle. So it's all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so move this up a bit. I'm trying to deal with like my hum situation, but I will clean this up in the audio for the replay for the Cosmic Comic Book Club. I promise. Okay. Oh, thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. Okay. Warning. So he's talking about Jon Stewart here. He has a tendency to mull things over for a while. You speak cavalierly about matters of which you have no understanding. You would speak far differently if you were a father. So he's doing all of this for Orion, right? And High Father's actually like a good dad. Good to know. So meanwhile, at the Green Lantern Corps, there's Kyle Rayner. He is actually, you know what he's doing? He's building Orion a heart with the Green Lantern light. Right? And it, like, he has to do this with, like, it takes a lot of, like, mental capacity. So if we can learn how to do that in this realm, right? And it's interesting that he's making him a heart, right? Like heart chakra, kind of cool. Might be indigo. Oh, yeah. Yeah, third eye. Indigo is also compassion, right? And I think in the War of Light, indigo is, like, the game changer when it comes to that. It's, like, it helps to dissolve all the other issues. Kyle's my favorite, the White Lantern, yes, because he's worthy of it, right? To be that White Lantern is, I was reading a thing, I was like, who would win in a fight, Kyle Rayner or Hal Jordan? Depends, right? Depends, I think. But ultimately, if we were to go 1-to-1, it would be Kyle, because White Lantern, right? Yes, okay. So, Space Sector 0, sentient planet Mogo. Joint headquarters of the Green Lantern Corps. And Mogo is a sentient planet who also has a ring himself. And in the infirmary, 27 of your Earth hours without rest or nutrition. He will not be able to continue this exertion much longer, Corps Leader Stewart. When, and not if, Lantern Rayner collapses, his construct prototype of my blood circulation engine will vanish. I will have no choice but to restore Orion's true heart. So that true heart is going to function as like there's like assassins afoot, right? So that's why High Father is with Hal Jordan and he's all worried. But Hal Jordan's like, don't worry. We literally stopped Orion's heart. We have like a fake heart going for him. And as long as he doesn't have his real heart, the bad guys won't know where he is. So, John, if Dr. Thavad does that, it'll bring the metal hunting Orion straight here. All right, let's hope it doesn't come to that, Graf. Two-Lobe, we're low on options. Hal said after the Golem thought that it killed Orion, it headed after a new objective. I need to know where it went. I can't make a battle plan if I don't know the ground that we'll be fighting on. Spoken like a true leader, Jon Stewart. I'm doing my best to coax an answer from Orion's mind. Well, please coax faster. Thanks, Red Heron. I believe, so this is Orion, that's High Father's son. He's in like a forced coma so that he doesn't get found out, right? And then, I believe, yes, he doesn't offer the words easily, but I have them. Yuga Khan. And then Guy shows up, right? Oh, morning, Johnny. I'm ready for another shift. How's Rayner and the heartsick prince? So he just woke up. Like, everyone else is dealing with things, and Guy's like, I just woke up. The attack platoon is moving out, Guy. I've already alerted Hal. We are leading the charge. But I haven't had breakfast yet. Dealing with like the new gods, the old gods, and he's like, I need some breakfast first. Yeah, you do need breakfast of champions before you start the day, right? All right, the source wall, a cosmic boundary holding mysteries innumerable. New objective, free Yuga Khan. And then so this is Fall of the Gods. This is the conclusion. We're jumping right into it, and we'll at least get to conclude the whole thing. So that's good. The Dead Will Rise. The writer is Robert Veniti. Penciler is Rafa Sandoval, and inker Jordi Thanarova. I will include all of these guys in the replay of this. I will also clean up the hum on this audio. I apologize for that in advance. Oh, thank you for that. I do love the Lantern lore. And I am not gonna lie, I was disappointed by the Lanterns trailer on HBO because that shot of Hal flying in the air with no suit on, I was like, no. You need to create a construct in order to fly, and that's the beauty of the Lanterns, right? Like, no two Lanterns are going to do it. They don't have to do it the same because your consciousness is different, right? So whether or not you choose to fly by like making yourself a Pegasus or making yourself a little bubble or like whatever that is, that's how you do it. You don't just like, it's not just your, you know what I mean? So I was like, maybe they'll explain it. But also like, why is your suit hanging in the closet all dirty and stuff? Because the suit actually is from the ring. Like it's made, like that's why each one is different. Like that's why guys will look like how he wants it to look. Hal's will look like his. Some have masks, some don't have masks, and it's all just because no two Lanterns are the same, even though we are all part of the same team and our power comes from the same place, which is will. So thanks for the heart me. Yeah, and we need to do an updated Lantern Corps, reunion and party, of course. So I want this. Give me this. Team up kind of thing. So they're leading the charge. Guys complaining they didn't have breakfast yet because breakfast is important. Do you guys have a favorite breakfast? Do you eat breakfast? I do love breakfast. Brunch is like one of my favorite meals of the day. Mimosas. I love waffles and fried chicken. So good. All right. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You know what? I'm only going for another 10 minutes. Because this hum is driving me nuts, guy. Driving me nuts, the audio on it. But if you're available on Wednesday, let's do another reunion. Yeah? If you're available. Because tomorrow I'm going to be doing Jean Grey Phoenix, because that's on the schedule. I'm trying to adhere to my schedule. But I am going to be doing a few things with Jessica Cruz, like some dances. Like I want to do Britney Spears' Crazy. You remember Crazy? I just can't sleep, because she wears that green top, and I'm like, oh, I could do like a Green Lantern crazy dance, because what is crazy, right? Love makes you crazy, and if you don't have willpower, you can go crazy. Yes. Oh, perfect. That would be perfect. And maybe I could teach you guys the dance, because it's the crazy dance. And Britney Spears, unfortunately, she was arrested recently for a DUI. Oh, poor girl. And she's getting so much flack for it, but honestly, wasn't she in the Epstein files as a victim 135 times? That poor girl. I feel like I would love to get her in my movie. Bring her back. How John Travolta got his comeback because of Tarantino. Bring it back, right? And Matthew, yeah, perfect. Okay, so all of you Lantern Corps, let's see if we can get a bunch of us together on Wednesday to do a little bit of warrior activation for Warrior Wednesday. Thoughts on the Lanterns trailer, Joker's Last Laugh. I did just share a little bit of it where I wish there was more green. And what, the creators, they were saying that they removed the green from Green Lanterns because they thought it was silly. I'm like, but that's the whole point. Yeah, so all right, let's go, you guys. I'm not in this comic book specifically. I think it's before my time. Well, this is paint. My monocle, my eye to see the evil, right? That kind of thing. Jeremy, what am I talking about? I totally went off on a different tangent. So, Jeremy, the trailer of the Lanterns HBO, which features an older Hal Jordan training a younger Jon Stewart. The concept of it, I really like. I just think it's unfortunate that they are not going to, I don't feel like they're going to expand the universe any more so than Earth. Like, we're not going to see Mogo or OA, or I don't think the other lanterns are going to be introduced besides maybe Sinestro. And it'll be interesting if they make Sinestro actually pink. Because I really, the movie with Ryan Reynolds was a lot of things, but at least Mark Strong's version of Sinestro I thought was actually pretty decent. Yeah. So, oh yes, go. I think it's on YouTube if you want to go check it out. I wanted to do a live reaction video with Jessica, so maybe we can do that on Wednesday too. Guy's going to be. Is he going to be in it? Is he the same version? Is this in the same timeline and world as the Superman movie and Supergirl movie with Millie? Because that could be cool. I just hope that they integrate, like, whatever story they're going to go with. I hope it makes sense. All right. So breakfast. After breakfast, the lanterns they're at it. So here they go. That's what I want. Like the team flying, flashes of green. Gorilla guy leading the charge. Space ape. Use your Raynon. Use your size against the golems. Everyone else, keep them away from Yuga Khan. Resistance encountered. Dispatching resistance. Dispatching resistance. Dispatching resistance. Cover, yells Jon Stewart. Let's see if I can actually turn the pages with these gloves. And then, put your legs into it, ladies, says Guy. And he gets smacked by something cosmically, right? Oh, maybe. Say the oath. I have said the oath, but we'll say it before we wrap, I promise. I want to get through this read. Sometimes you guys are lucky, and the read itself has the oath in it, right? So now we have... See what I mean about the lantern ring can make yourself a space jet too? So, like, how come in the Lanterns trailer you just, like, have Hal, no green, no ring, just fly off into the sky? It's like, okay. Let's see if these things know how to play chicken. Boom, boom. I didn't lead these Omega beams across the universe just for fun. I've got a fight to finish with Big Red. Dispatching, resist. Oh, green versus red. Well, this is basically the, oh yeah. We got a big boom. A big bada boom, right? Kaboom. The generators in their chests, that's their weakness. The metal houses them on its own end. Gimme some blockers. Dispatching resistance, he keeps saying. Guy's going up the gut. Kazam. And he goes in there with the punch. I think this is Guy's turn, right? Guy, this is your moment. You get this big punch. Big punch. End zone. Kazam. Big moment. And then take it down before it covers its generator. Thunk, thunk, thunk. So you have the rest of the lanterns there once Guy has... Because there's always a weak spot, you guys. If you guys have ever played, like, video games and stuff, and you're going up against the big boss, or even, like, the hunters in Halo, you can't... Yes, I am Aaron. I am Jessica Cruz. And I'm reading you guys the conclusion of Fall of the Gods, which is Hal Jordan, my favorite Green Lantern, his title read, and the rest of the crew, you know? Hal was the pirate, and John was the marine architect, and Guy the police officer, and Kyle the artist. Yeah, and you know, I love... So each of those character types, right, their alter egos, with the ring, their way of bringing the Green Lantern to life is different, right? Just including Jessica Cruz. Like I told you how her background is transmutation of the Ring of Volthoom, the fear ring, into one of will, because that's how there's like the relationships that you have between the different rings and emotions as well. Like how apparently... There's a comic book, I haven't read it myself yet, where Supergirl ends up with a red lantern ring. And I think it is that you can't disengage yourself from the red lantern ring unless you have a blue lantern ring. Don't quote me on that. Someone correct me if you guys know. But how Supergirl does it is she like just flies straight into the heart of the sun, like power charges it up and like frees herself from the ring. Oh, you know the story, Romulus. Yes. You know what, though? Lanterns do have some dark stories, which is why, like, on one hand, the Lanterns trailer, it being all like dark and gritty, it could make sense, right? But you're still keeping it very local in this like small, like that lady in the trailer, she's like, this is my town, right? Kind of thing. Like, who are you, lady? This is my galaxy. That kind of thing. Like, so I don't know. And I also don't know if it's like a world where like the Lanterns are known, right? As a thing. Or like aliens are known about at that point. So, because that changes a little bit how the story works. Okay, so Guy has managed to do up the gut through the weak spot punch, and then the rest of the Lanterns, they're up in there finishing the job, making sure that it stays down, like go down and stay down, buddy. Green Lantern's light. Oh yeah, so they're all yelling it out. Yeah, everyone's full court press, baby. And then Yuga Khan doesn't get another crack at living. Not on my watch. Not ever, says Jon Stewart. And then Guy's looking over at Jordan being like, hey, Jordan. Did you see me kebab that big son of a bitch? And then Hal's like, after I showed you where to target it? Yeah, I saw it. I told you where to aim. Like, easy to do a big hit when I told you exactly where to go. And then Highfather says, Jon Stewart, on behalf of all the new gods, I thank you for the Green Lantern Corps intervention. Take me to my son. And Stewart says to him, you can accompany us back to Mogo, Highfather. And just about, like, they're just about to leave, right? And there's like a little ping, 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 which causes all of them to like dramatically look, right? And then you can see how, oh, shh, boom, right? Oh, is my last name John or Cruz? Josie might be one of those ladies who ends up with just like like Cher, or just like one name. Because think of Josie and the Pussycats, kind of thing. And Danny Moneyman, hey, birthday twin, thank you for the heart me. Okay, so there's a big boom, meaning that this fight is not over yet, right? Status of new god designated Highfather alive. Commence the culling. Oh, geez. Okay. There's another one. It's hiding its sweet spot. Anybody know how to get to its sweet spot, says Guy. Well, I can't make another Omega beam run. Not at this close of a range. Primary Omega weapon, 70% charge. And then Highfather's like, all right, I've had enough. I will hide no more. The golems came here to free my father. They could not hope to do so without the power of the source. I understand my father's scheme at last. I like to call myself a panda. I'm black, white, and Asian, right? So my dad's South African, my mom's Filipino. So a little bit of a mix. Jessica Cruz, I believe she's Latina, though. And that's the kind of thing that I love about, when you're dealing with cosmic things, humans become the human race, right? We're all one kind of thing. It doesn't matter, like, where you came from. Like, in the Lantern Corps, you're all like the Lanterns, right? Including aliens like gorillas and things that look like squirrels. So, that's what I think my doggy is. He's not actually a dog. He looks like a dog. Like Sonic the Hedgehog. He looks like a hedgehog, but he's not a hedgehog. He's an alien, right? So, okay. So Highfather's like, all right, I know what's going on here. It's kind of like one of those epic proportion things, how like Zeus overthrew Kronos and Kronos overthrew Uranus, right? So it's like this kind of thing of like the ages changing and the gods fighting, right? And so Highfather, it's basically to kind of push back against his father being freed, right? So perhaps I can create a rift in the outer shell, but if only for a moment and with the slightest of openings. So he's going to give an opening for the Lanterns to come in and like punch through, right? That's why team effort, that's why the Lanterns are very unique. It's a different thing when you have like one person trying to come up with a plan, but that's why Hal Jordan's like loves Jon Stewart, right? Like, because Hal Jordan is not the character type, like although people look up to him, he doesn't like leading. That's like project management stuff. So Jon Stewart's like that quintessential like military leader of like strategic athenic output, right? Of like, all right, what ground, get the high ground, right? That kind of thing. So thank you, Joshua. And this one I got from Silver Snail, so I need to go back there to try to find the conclusion of this storyline I've been reading, you guys. And yes, Jessica and Stuart are best lanterns, yeah. And you know what? They actually have a great relationship, Jessica and Jon Stewart. I have a scene where Jon Stewart introduces Hal to Jessica, and it's a cute thing. Like I just like how the different personality types interact. It's like why I like D&D and like different like ensemble casts, right? Like the different character types coming together and how those personalities interact. Oh, Wise, thank you. Welcome to the Cosmic Club. All right, we're almost at the conclusion, my friends. Okay. I am here, machine monstrosity. So High Father's had enough. He's going to take this thing down. Primary Omega weapon, 85% charge. Prepare your attack, lanterns. And then so you have Stuart's up, right? So you can see he's used the ring to create like a really nice sniper rifle. And he says, there's no wind in space. There's no weather. No Corollas effect. It's a sniper's dream, right? So he's just, you got to find the sweet spot, right? So aim right there. Both eyes open, deep breath, right? McLovin, yeah, right? And this is a good run, The Fall of the Gods. It's like, it just goes to show how the lanterns play a big role in that bigger galactic story of like the multiverse, right? And so there he goes. He takes the shot. Doesn't miss because we're Green Lanterns, right? The kind of central core malfunction. And it's a hit, right? Krazoom. Hit. Oh, so you threaded the needle, says Guy. Big deal. Mine was way more boss. And then he looks at Stuart. Nah, we're both badasses, right? So Guy got his hit. Stuart got his hit. And you're like, we're bomb, right? And that's how it is to be part of a team. You know it, says Stuart. Let's put the metal scraps into the source wall and move out of here. Mission complete, baby. Smoke those guys like nobody's business. And then, your eternity of imprisonment is not yet finished, Father. His father kind of looks very demon-like. And he says, even in death, you seek to murder your own family. What drives a being to such evil? And then Hal floats over, puts a hand on High Father's shoulder, says, I know a good dad when I see one. I had the best. You're a good dad, High Father. If you knew the things I have done, you would wonder how much of my father yet lives in me. You aren't dead yet. There's still time to be better. Come on, let's go. It's kind of like Hal giving like advice to a god. But it's like, you're a good dad, man. Just like thought I'd let you know. He's like, oh, what have I? But like that's the thing about the sins of the father and that kind of stuff. Your son is waiting. So we head back to Mogo. You look well, Orion, says High Father. Well as you can. And he holds his chest. He's like, oh, it's a nice piece of work, Doc. Yes, the heart reattachment procedure was quite simple. It is Kyle Rayner who performed the most difficult role. Once finished, he had not even the strength to walk away. He will return to normal after the fluids and nutrition take effect. You did good, Kyle. I'm in your debt. And then next, Superman versus Hal Jordan. So I don't know what that's about. So, bomb. And that is the conclusion to Fall of the Gods, DC Universe, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. It was really good. And I wanted to just explain a little bit of what's going on at the end there with Kyle. So what Kyle actually ended up doing was, I had to do some like research on this. He ended up creating a construct, like a heart, that is like a fully working replica of Orion's heart to replace it, because that weird machine thing that was trying to kill him, it was like targeted to the electro frequency of the heart. And how interesting, right? I was talking to you guys about how green is like the heart chakra, and Kyle Rayner, through his mental will, over 28 hours, not eating or drinking, created a heart for a god to use. Yo, right? That's something. And so that's what, when we talk about superheroes, like who's the most powerful, it's a very hard question to ask. It's like, in what context? What do you mean? And it just means like, for people who, like myself, who have a moon in Gemini, where like you try to meditate and it's very difficult because your mind is like, oh, I'm hungry. What's that? But just taking the moment to just breathe and be with yourself for a moment, reorient yourself, and like just focus your mind, right? So Kyle had to focus his mind for like 28 hours on one thing: someone else's heart, someone else's well-being. We can't even think for ourselves and our own well-being for very long. I'm saying that as someone who finds it very difficult because of all the distractions that exist in our world, right? And I think that is why I read you guys comic books, because, you know, just like those old movies or old shows, those old animations back in the day in the 90s, where like in the end, there's like a lesson, right? Share with your friends. Don't lie. Do the right thing, right? All of these little cute little moral lessons that don't have to be so like, well, do this and do that and all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, Retrace, I'm glad you found me too, right? Because I was the biggest, nerdiest kid growing up, right, you guys? So people have this thing, like, because I look, or I'm in this kind of avatar, that I'm supposed to be a certain way. But like, just like the superheroes in these comic books, that's just the costume, including your alter ego, right? Like with Batman, that conversation he has with like Rachel, where, you know, she's like, you know, this is the mask, right? Who you really are is really like that superpower, like that superhero, right? And that it's not meant necessarily to be what you play mundane reality with, right? And I think just in yourself, to don't forget who you are, right? We do forget. We have to forget sometimes. Octavia, thank you for that. And hello, off the cuff Tom. It is Jessica Cruz. And I will say the oath and log off with you guys. I wasn't actually planning on being Jessica Cruz today, but I did want to talk a little bit about the power of symbolism. I did want to read you a little bit of this, right? Because just to address the whole fact that like I'm super pumped that the lanterns are going to come into like more mainstream consciousness through the HBO show. But I think a big part of the lanterns is their galactic place in the world, right? And there is no excuse from a perspective of like budget and CGI and all that kind of stuff to kind of bring the more, you know, emotion. Like, what does it mean to see emotion, right? Right? To give it form, to give love form, to give all of these emotions that are like unseen, to have to work with them in like 3D land, right? Comic books, in their very unique medium, do this beautiful thing of being able to allow our imaginations to have a model to think about things that are very difficult to talk about. Like, what does it mean to have mental strength, right? To cultivate mental strength. Yeah, Jason. So like, just think about it. Like when you're sitting down in lotus position, just pay attention to what thoughts come to you and what thoughts are coming from like in you, and what thoughts are being like coming from like what's playing on the radio, right? Or like what you're watching on TikTok now, right? Because you're allowing me into your universe right now, right? You're allowing us to have play. You're allowing me to be Jessica Cruz in your world for now, right? So you are the master who makes the grass green. You are the one who brings the magic to the story, right? And whether or not you choose to bring that into your own personal mythos is up to you, right? And the more that you inform yourselves with all the different stories, the more you can figure out like, wow, no matter how dark things get, there is always light. You know, like all these stories, all these comic books, right? Like Reed Rich, like all of them, no matter how dark things get, there's always a way out, right? There is always the light. So especially when things get really, really dark, that's just right when the dawn is going to come through. So yes, we're going to see Josie before bed, and Wolfie's sleeping as well. And Hal's got some work to do, but tomorrow I'm going to be flipping to Marvel, so don't hate me, DC fans. I'm all about the story. I have my favorites in all universes, just like in movies as well. But I wanted to share with you guys this card actually that my hubby found at the gym today, just randomly. I don't know if you guys have ever played like Magic the Gathering. I'm not as familiar with Magic. I have enough games that I play a lot of, but it's just funny, right? Because when we were talking about the power of green, right? So green can be like green with envy, green goo, green kryptonite, right? But it's also like the green of the earth, right? There is a version of the Green Lantern, Alan Scott. He says he's like Green Lantern in name only, right? Because his powers come from a different universe and from the same place that actually like Swamp Thing comes from, right? The green. So all of these different things, these different rules behind how supernatural powers work, there's no right or wrong to it. It's about how it all kind of parses through in your own consciousness. So I'm just here, like, if you have found me, it's probably for a reason. Right? Because you guys know who Jessica Cruz is, right? And if you didn't know Green Lanterns, you wouldn't understand the symbolism behind it and why I feel resonance with her. Because the biggest lesson behind the character of Jessica Cruz is the ability to have courage in the face of darkness, to have gone through trauma and pain and all of the worst stuff and come out the other side and be a hero, right? And every day is a struggle still, but you still, like, each battle that you go out there and do your thing is a battle you win. Yeah, exactly, Green Lantern Guy. And I think each of the characters, like from Guy to Hal to Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, they each have their own character arc, which also functions in this universe, which kind of goes to show how all of our different universes bounce off each other, intermingle with each other, and enhance and expand each other's universes, right? So thank you guys for joining me for this. I'm going to be jumping off. And tomorrow, Jean Grey Phoenix will be back. So we're going to flip back to a Marvel read. I will hopefully also get the buzz figured out with this whole mic situation. And also, if you guys want to join the Cosmic Comic Book Club, I will be hopefully starting in the new astrological new year, which is coming up very soon. Every full moon, we're going to be doing a reading, like a Cosmic Comic Book Club reading. And we're going to tackle the bigger storylines. So for example, like the Dark Phoenix saga, the Blackest Night saga, the Prophecy of the OA, as well as all the different crises in the DC universe, and map it like comic book lore, like treat it like it's like English class. Like this is a new way of learning about archetypes in school and your own magic, right? Because comic books have been around for a while now, right? And so I feel like just like the classics, the theater of the old world, like it's worth us in soul school looking at those stories that really provide resonance for you. Thank you guys. Blackest Night, yes, that's a good, and that one will be a good one to kind of bring in all the lore of the different lanterns, and I'll have some handouts for you guys. All right, I think Josie is up. Def. All right, guys, have a beautiful one wherever you are. Keep fighting the fight. This is my natural hair, you guys, because I know someone was saying like, oh, you wear so many wigs. Like, are you bald? Like, no, I wear my wigs to protect my real self, and which is why I feel like Jessica is very much, she's most close to how I am in like regular life. So to all of you guys out there, remember, it takes true courage for you to be exactly you in this cosmic game of life. So be sure to play as exactly you, because guess what? The universe is counting on you. But no worries, I got your back. Till next time, guys, Green Lantern Corps. Oh yes, we should do the oath before we sign out, shall we? In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light. All right, my friends, until next time, stay super.